What's up guys, Richard here, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Language of Magic. That is the name we're going for with our game. Might change in the future, but I don't think so. So what have we been doing over the last few weeks? Well, mainly I've been doing a ton of back-end work, so it was nothing really visual that I could show you, but we do have something now. We actually have an epic battle. But before we jump into that, I wanted to show you the bandit character. This is going to be the first generic enemy within the game. Nothing special, but we're going to have a whole heap of enemies. There's going to be a school, there's going to be a township, there's going to be lots of different things that we're going to have coming within the next few weeks, finally, as things start progressing a lot faster. Anyway, let's go have a look at the epic battle. So what we have going here is we have the bandits, which represent the enemy, and then we have these clones, which I call them clones, but they're basically just friendlies, and they're just using your mesh. And what's going to happen is these guys are just going to go at it, and they have 3 spells, both sides. So they have a offensive spell, which is Mi El Sorechas Firedon, which is a translation of I cast fire. And remember, you can, when you play this game, you'll be able to play it in whatever target language you want, and this will be a way of learning, obviously. Then we have Mi Sanigasmin, which is I heal myself, and Mi Kovirasmin, which is I shield myself. Now, the mechanics in this game are quite simple in essence. So there is no like mana bar where you have mana. What you have is your ability to type out a spell. If you can type out the spell, you can cast it. But we're also introducing a system that's called diminishing returns. And what diminishing returns means, if you keep using the same spell over and over and over, you actually get less and less effective at that spell during the duration of that fight. That way it will force you to start using different spells and thus practicing your language more, as opposed to just getting really good at one spell and using it over. And we didn't want to use the mana system because, as our designer said, the focus is language learning. It's not like, you know, managing a mana. Anyway, so this is what we've got going here. We've got this epic battle. This character, I think, here represents me, but let's go see what happens. So, as you can see, they all run at each other, and they start casting. Now, they're all just going to cast offensive spells until they get damaged enough, and then some of them are going to consider healing themselves. And this guy, he's about to get destroyed. Yeah, he's already dead. Okay, so I'm going to try and help this guy out here, if I can spell properly. Mi Kovirasvin. Mi Sanigasvin, and you can see that battle did not last long. I was hoping it would last a little bit longer. So because and these two up there, they've had their little battle, and this guy, he's just gonna, he appears to be wanting to follow me down into combat, so I'm gonna bring him down here, and yep, he's now in on the battle. So what's happening here is they're healing themselves, they're attacking the enemy. There's only 3 spells at the moment, but you know, in the future, we're going to have, for at least the Kickstarter, the prototype, because we're going to supply a free prototype for people for the Kickstarter. There's going to be at least 50 different possible spells or spell combinations, plus like just random things you can do within the world. So it's not just all combat-based. You'll be using spells to pick up objects, to move objects, to open doors, whatever. There's going to be a lot going on here. Anyway, I wanted to show you what we've done in the design system, but before I do that, I'll just quickly show you an example of how it runs. So, you got the character here, I'm just going to go let them battle. This person's going to go, oh hey, so this is like the new starting location. You start in your house and you got your mum or your dad there, whatever, we'll change that in the future. And you can see here, I have to do like certain sequences, kind of like that old tutorial one, which was all code-based. But now it's all design-based, and you can see we've got a quest log there as well. So I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm going to select this character here, and if I can move my mouse, I'm actually using my mouse pad on my laptop at the moment, which is a real hindrance. Okay, so we've got something down here that's called the story mode, and I showed you this last time. So if I click on this, it's been like really worked out now. What you do is you've got a list of actions in order that an AI can perform, and if at any point they're approached by an enemy, they'll enter a combat mode and deal with that combat situation, then they return back to their story. But you can see here, the list of actions here for this one AI is, first they go to the player when you're within a minimum range of 500, and they're going to do that while walking. Then they're going to read out a speech that's called the Mummo1 speech, which is actually located in a file so it can be translated. Then they give you a quest that's called Pick Up the Magic Book quest with an objective. You just got to pick up the magic book. Then you got to collect that magic book. When you complete that quest, then they proceed and then they go to the player. Then they do the next speech and then they ask you to open your magic book, kind of prove that you know what you're doing. It's part of a tutorial. So this is an event. When you do that, then they enter into this next speech mode. So you can easily create complex AI movements now. And this was built for the designer so that they can do stuff quite simply. So for example, let's grab this AI right here. You'll see here, they had an event, but I'm going to add a new event. I'm going to tell them to go straight to the player. So we're going to go to actor, and I'm going to add that action, and we're going to say player. Okay, great. Now, I don't want them to be walking, I want them to run, and I don't want a minimum activation range, so I'm going to put that high. And then once they've done that, I'm going to get them to talk to the player. And they're going to use a speech, so I'm just going to use that generic one from the house. And I also want them to automatically start talking, and I don't want any delay between this getting to the player and actually starting to talk. So if I do that now, oh, that's not going to work because I'm inside the house, and they're going to run all the way to the house, then accidentally get into this combat and completely forget about their mission of talking to me. Let me just grab my character and move him off to the left here. Okay, great. So I'm over here, you'll watch. Here he comes, he runs over, boom, he instantly talks to me, and that's it. So that's how the designer can easily just create not combat situation, but create like complex AI. And what we're working on right now is we're going to have you're going to start in your little home, you're going to go to your first day of magic school, you're going to go there, learn like the tutorial phase, and then you're going to enter into the story. Now the story doesn't actually happen in the school, it happens elsewhere in the world. The school's just for kind of like the instruction, but you're going to have like little townships with people walking around, you'll be able to chat with them, learn more language things. They will teach you new language spells. You'll be able to go, obviously, into the school where you'll learn certain things. You'll get quests, like that quest I got before from the person in the house, which, okay, let me just quickly go through the sequence so I can show you that quest again. So I'm going to go over here, pick this up as they asked, go over here, and dump, go into all of this. Okay, so you see here, you got like quests where you've got, this was a collection quest, you've got kill quests, you've got talk to quests, all sorts of types of quest stuff, and it's all coming together quite nicely. Now, I know graphically not much has changed except we've got these bandits in here now, but things are about to massively speed up because we've built the basic skeletons that we're going to be using for pretty much all the characters. It will just be a process of like popping out a new character every week or two and then just putting them into the game, making a bunch of like town NPCs, etc, etc. Anyway, if you guys like what we're doing right now, let your friends know about this. This is a very unique game where you're going to learn a language as you play it, and we need as much support as we can right now before we get to the Kickstarter at the end of the year, so invite people to this channel. Well, that is it. If you've liked this video, like it, share it around, sub to the channel. See you all in the next video.